It is The Drive on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Our signing day special, 93.7 The Ticket, committed to signing day. Interview with A.J. Natter, a 6'6", 240-pound defensive end from Milton, Wisconsin. Now, you were committed a while ago. What factored into your decision the most, A.J., to come to Nebraska?
I have to say, Nebraska was the first school to get in touch with me. And that meant a lot to me. I got to see the stadium and the game day atmosphere first out of all these colleges that were interested in me. So, right off the bat, that set the bar. So it was kind of hard for these other schools to meet that bar and standard and whatnot. But in the end, it was all about comfort. And it's hard to say exactly what my reason was, but it's kind of hard not to commit somewhere that you feel homesick when you leave. It's every time I left, I wanted to come back. Every time I left, I kept thinking about it. And eventually, I knew that was the place for me. And it couldn't have been a better decision at all. I mean, it was the place for me.
Yeah, you were recruited by John Papuchis. We'll get to Bo Pelini here in just a second, but John Papuchis, Husker fans know him, very energetic, animated on the sidelines. What kind of passion did he bring when it came to sitting down and talking to you in the living room and talking to you on the phone, AJ?
He's a great guy. He is a great guy, and obviously he was one of the first coaches to come in contact with me, and that meant a lot to me. Originally, he was the defensive line coach, and now Kaz is there, and Kaz is also, a great guy. And but just sitting down with him, he's very personal when you're just sitting down and talking one-on-one with him. But you got to have that passion to play. You got to have that passion to coach, and I'm going to be honored. I'm honored to play underneath his scope and whatnot. So
now
looking forward to it.
You're listed as a DN. You played DN in high school. Did they kind of the coaches talk to you about how they want you to fit in defensively at Nebraska?
They're looking at me as the defensive end, obviously, and time will tell how big I get, how if I stay this weight or if I get heavier or whatnot. It all depends on how I mature and what. So we'll see what happens, but they're talking defensive end, and we'll see what time tells. It's all a waiting game, I guess, and how hard I work and what they see in me.
Your A.J. Natter is our guest defensive end from Milton, Wisconsin. He committed way back in April to Nebraska. What was going through your head when you're watching the Big Ten title game this year against Wisconsin?
Well, actually, I was down there for that, and obviously I was down there for the other Wisconsin game as well.
Okay.
But it was tough. It was tough to watch. It was tough knowing I had to go back to Wisconsin and get all that grief from my friends and whatnot. But that wasn't the team that's not them. That was not the team that they were. They didn't play the way they should have played. And that happens. It's football. You can't predict anything. But they played a great bowl game against Georgia. I felt they could have pulled that one off too. And but it's just one of those games you have to look back on and think, we could have done better. You don't want this to happen again. You never want this to happen again. It's just something you have to learn by your mistakes, and I think that's one you get to look back on and figure out what went wrong.
Yeah, sure. It's interesting. Recruits, you lose high school football games too, so you see a team losing college, and it's normal. It's football. How much did that make you feel like, man, I mean, Nebraska loses a couple games this year, and you think to yourself, I can't wait to put on the pads and help them win a few more the next year?
Oh, exactly. And, whether that be me playing or that be me being on the practice squad, any way I can help, I want to help out. I want to be on a team that wins. I was very fortunate to get this, opportunity to play for Nebraska because, I came from a team these last 2 years. We've had losing records, and a lot of these guys who are signing and committing, they don't have that. They have teams that are very well coached and very well organized and whatnot. But I come from a team that we lose quite a bit, and it's very frustrating. But you have to cope with it, and you have to deal with it, and go out there the next game and play with your all. And I'm very excited to make a difference in this team.
Who are the players in this 2013 class that you talk with regularly?
Josh Banderas, Nate Terry, Greg Hart. Just listen off them. I can list them all, but those are the kind of guys that I met when I first went down there. During the Big Red Weekend, actually, is when I first met them all. But Yeah, we talk on a regular basis. I'm getting really excited to meet them, or not meet them, but obviously get to know them a lot better personally. And yeah, great group of guys though.
Hey, AJ, I'm curious. So AJ Natter, our guest, a defensive end from Wisconsin, committed to Nebraska back in April. You say you went to a high school that you lost a lot of games and it became frustrating. And it makes me wonder how often you check these recruiting sites for how other schools are doing, colleges, high schools, your star rating. How much did you follow that during the process?
I didn't follow that very often. I looked, I heard about it. People told me, oh, you're this star, you're that star. That means nothing to me. I mean, it means a lot to the fans, obviously, but, once you sign that piece of paper, those stars don't really matter. You're at the bottom of the totem pole, you're going up, and, you just gotta just focus on your game, focus on your talents, and know what you can do. Because personally, I don't think a lot of people know how you play. They'll see the highlight tape, but they don't see the plays that you take off. They don't see the plays that There's a lot they don't see, and you just have to embrace the fact that you know how good you are, how good you could be, and just fight through it all.
You talked about the coaching staff, Papuchis and Bo Pelini as well, how passionate they were about recruiting you and reaching out to you first. What other things about Nebraska really stuck out?
The fan base, the atmosphere on game day, just the people in general down in Nebraska are just, phenomenal. That first game day down there was, it was out of this world. And nothing could match that to me. And that's one of the reasons I chose Nebraska, is because nothing can top it for me. And it's all around a great program, a great college, a great town, great state for, it's everything I want, everything I need.
Which do you watch any specific NFL players or college players and try to model your game after them?
There's always those players you look at. I personally like watching J.J. Watt just because he's the position I'm playing, and he's got the motor. He's got the motor that I like. My personal thing is I have a motor. I have that tenacity, the ferociousness, and I love watching him. He makes the game look fun. He makes it look, frankly, he makes it look easy. But he's just a great player to be a role model per se. He does great things off the field, on the field, and everything in between, I guess. So he's just one of those players you look up to.
He's A.J. Natter, a defensive end commit to the University of Nebraska. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with me today. And here's hoping you're the next J.J. Watt, man.
All right, sounds good.
All right, take
Thank
care.
you very much.
You bet.